everyone else is thinking.
I'm dedicated to it. I can't be stopped.
All right, welcome back. Uncle Ted is high on piss and vinegar and freedom. You know, when I sweat, those are beads of freedom sweat. I was out chopping wood this morning because you know how many trees I've planted? You see these dangerous 10 digits of doom? By the way, that Gibson Birdland, I played a Star-Spangled Banner at Mar-a-Lago. Nobody's feet touched the ground because they knew that every sonic bombast, penetrating projectile of nodology, I played licks that God hasn't even authorized yet because I enhanced the Founding Fathers' vision of we the people, cold-cocking kings and tyrants and dictators and punks that think they can enslave free people. We're free people. And if you try to enslave us again, I'll run out of rope. You know, if I was in charge of DOGE, I'd run out of rope in about a day and a half because all these monsters need to be strung up. But anyhow, I'm also a freedom fighter. I'm working with a lot of lawyers out there. We got a guy in Alabama who shot a paroled arsonist on his porch with a Molotov cocktail, allegedly, ready to burn his house down, and he shot and killed him. And in Alabama, they charged a guy with murder for protecting his family from a paroled violent criminal who was threatening to burn his house down. That's what the justice system thinks justice is. And when Kyle Rittenhouse shot a guy attacking him with a gun, pure and undeniable, irrefutable, video-supported evidence of self-defense, they still charge Kyle Rittenhouse with murder. The court system has sun-baked turds for a brain. It's funny I can say sun-baked turds, but I can't use the S word. We're working on that. But anyhow, there's so many instances where our court system is just bizarre, like Planet of the Apes, like the Cuckoo's Nest, like Clockwork Dayglow Orange, like the Twilight Zone, the toilet zone of the justice system. And as I've told my FBI friends, do you still have a scrotum? Did you check your balls in at the dorm when they told you to raid Mar-a-Lago? You went, okay, I'll raid Mar-a-Lago. You should have stood up and went, I'm sorry, Commander. I can't do that. I won't do that. And when Lon Horiachi was told to shoot Vicki Weaver, if he had a soul, he would have said, I'm sorry, I'm not shooting Vicki Weaver. She got a baby in her arms. Why would I shoot her? He shot and killed her. And where's Lon Horiachi now? Hey, Lon, why don't you come out to my ranch? We'll have a shoot-off at 1,000 yards. The justice system is embarrassing. And now a U.S. Marshal who took a sacred constitutional oath, like my buddy Lenny DePaul, like Tom Smith, like Craig Kane, like Ryan Gway, Jody Nidifer. I had to rely on these guys when I kicked down doors of released violent criminals, rapists, murderers, child sex traffickers. The guitar player kicked down doors with a U.S. Marshal vest and a 10 millimeter with the safety off and taking slack off the 1911 trigger. I'm going after people that stab and shoot and rape people. What am I going to do? Ask them if we'd like to sit down and have a discussion? No, I'm ready to blow their brains out. But I didn't because I didn't see a weapon. Damn it. My point is, I know these guys. These are warriors. And another warrior for the U.S. Marshal Service is Robert Ledigar, and he's my guest right now. And he did have he used his God-given scrotum, and he started blowing whistles on abuse of power. Robert, I want you to share your story, because if we don't expose the anti-justice system, the Department of Justice, that is the Department of Anti-Justice. They haven't gone over Lon Horiachi for shooting Vicki Weaver and her son Sam, but they're after you because you've spotlighted cockroaches of corruption. Robert, thanks to coming on the Spirit Campfire, but the reason it's called the Spirit Campfire is because we're addicted to truth, logic, and common sense. As a U.S. Marshal, thank you for taking that oath and sticking with it. Now, where are you in this horrible journey of anti-justice?
Ted, thank you very much. Right now, I'm in an appeal with the Merit System Protection Board, which is an administrative kangaroo court system that's generated by the government. It's designed to help the government. It's not designed to help the employee. All the burden is on the employee to prove his case. My facts are there. The truth is there. The evidence is there. I defended a female subordinate. This young lady is an Army veteran. I am a Navy veteran, served in Desert Storm. She served honorably. She came on to the Marshal Service. I selected her to work in the New York, New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force. She was the only deputy marshal on her team. Some of these guys did not take to that. They thought they should be the team leader when she was the team leader of a U.S. Marshals task force. She went up against them for bullying. They were busting her chops all the time, and then it just got out of hand. One guy started grabbing her. She thought she could fight them off, and it just got deeper and deeper. She brought it to my attention, and I went after them. I went after the 5 guys that were harassing her. They sexually harassed her, sexually assaulted her, bullied her, degraded her, everything you could think of just to make her quit. Well, she didn't. She came to me and I got into the fight and went up against them all. By doing so, I lit a fire, and the unaccountable bureaucrats in our headquarters that are just, they're admin comps. They forgot where they came from. They just wanted a title. And, you know, I exposed them, man, and I told the truth. And next thing you know, they came after me. From everything of calling me a racist to a drug dealer to cheating on my wife to false.
Well, Robert, I got to tell you, I got to tell you, you came to me via people that I have definitive reverence, not just respect, for the heroes of law enforcement who charge. I can tell you some stories I'm working on right now that these heroes of law enforcement are going through. Your case is not isolated. It is an atmosphere in the military where it's almost like the superiors, I hate to use the word, the people who think they're superiors, the people who give commands, actually look the other way as their harassment, even rape going on. Look what went on at Fort Hood here in Texas. That's not an isolated example. You're not an isolated example. So number one, I'm exposing this on the Real America Boy Spirit Campfire because Lenny DePaul is a hero. Tom Smith is a hero. Craig Kane is a hero. Ryan Gouet, Jody Nidifer. These are U.S. Marshal guys that I train with, that I hunt with, that I hang with, and that I respect and revere because they have undeniable integrity. And they say that you have those qualifications. So number one, is it, you think, the standard operating procedure? I see it in the military all too often. I mean, Lloyd Austin and Mark Milley, what a bunch of punks. And Lon Horiachi and what they did to the Weavers and what they did to Branch Davidian at the ATF. I mean, it makes you want to throw up. Do you think there's an atmosphere where the people in charge of the U.S. Marshal Service, like I've seen in the ATF, the DEA, and the FBI, where they actually look the other way? They think it's kind of cute. They think it's kind of manly to harass subordinates, especially women. I've seen too many occasions where it's not isolated. It's almost like an atmosphere. Is that a pretty accurate reading, you think?
It's a good, accurate, and then I also think that these people that are in these positions, they don't want to lose their position when this happens.
Yeah, it's more important than justice.
Yeah. It's their titles, man. They're fake titles that they earn. But I worked with those superheroes. I worked for Lenny DePaul, and I worked with him in Brooklyn. And Craig Kane, listen, I'll die telling you that guy saved my life, man. He was there from day one, and he hasn't left my side. Lenny DePaul has been there since day one, and so many others from New York have saved my life. And now talking to you is getting the story out there of what these unaccountable bureaucrats try to do to somebody. I had 70 days till I could retire, and they came after me. They fired me. They terminated me. They took everything away from me because I told the truth. All I did was defend a coworker and went up against some guys who never belonged on the job. And they still don't belong on the job. And it's so phony. What you see every day is that the people in the government preach it. If you lie to a federal agent, you can get arrested and go to jail for 5 years. Hey, man, these guys lied about me, and they came after me instead. These people should be in jail. They should be fired, not me. And I'm
Robert,
fighting
number
them.
one, Thanks for coming out. We're going to fight with you. I'm just a goofy guitar player, but boy, I got a big mouth and I got a middle finger on fire. And I sighted my middle fingers dead on at 200 yards this year, so it's pretty good. Plus, I had a bumper crop of middle fingers, so if you're running low, I can have some airlifted into your dining room. The point is that I'm a man on fire. I'm a freedom-fighting son of a bitch. I just got an award from President Trump because for the last 50-some years, when I see stupid, when I see corruption, when I see abuse of power, I walk right into the face of these abusers. And I could tell you some stories. I'm lucky to be alive. I backed these guys down that thought they had supreme power, when in fact I, as a we the people citizen of America, I have supreme power. I got it from God. It's written down in the Constitution. One of those numbnuts ought to come on my spirit campfire and debate the guitar player, and I can add his skull tissue to the Pierce Morgan remnants in the cleats of my work boots. The point being is that if you're going to arm wrestle Ted Nugent, you might want to bring an arm. And these guys got nothing. You got truth, logic, common sense, and the evidence to support you. So thanks for sharing that. We're out of time right now. But Robert, I'm going to keep after you because you're not alone. We love that you are dedicated to protecting people in the U.S. Marshal Service, and the people in charge should be ashamed of themselves that they're against protecting people in the U.S. Marshal Service. God bless the U.S. Marshals, and God bless you, Robert.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you so much, man.
All right, Godspeed. All right, Uncle Ted here. Never over, never ever out, never back down, never give in, never surrender, never bend over, Rover. Let Teddy take over. I mean this stuff. I mean, I'm old. I should be tired. I'm not tired, even though those are bags under my eyes, but those are Remington ammo bags. I have too much ammo. Nobody ever said. It's funny stuff. So anyhow, I will be back in a moment with some more outrageous, fascinating stories, because my life is outrageous and fascinating, and I'm going to share it with you people because you deserve me.